We build massive steel vaults to protect our money, yet let our most critical asset slip away completely unguarded. Most of us will scrutinize a bank statement to track down a missing handful of pennies, but we casually lose hours to aimless distraction without a second thought. This happens because we wake up every morning with a fresh supply of hours, which tricks our brains into treating time like an infinite, eternally replenishing resource. Bridging this gap in perception is what allows a person to stop merely reacting to the day and start directing it. Consider the story of a young man in a small village who lived in this state of constant drift. He spent his days wandering from place to place, completely unbothered by the hours dissolving around him. His father watched this happen, knowing that another verbal lecture wouldn't work. To change how his son saw the world, he needed to show him how the world actually assigns value. He called his son over, pulled a watch from a cupboard, and gave him a specific task. Take the watch to the market and find out exactly what people would pay for it. This errand was a test to see if the boy could spot the difference between the things we can buy and the things we can only use. At the market, the boy showed the watch to the crowd, but the data he collected was erratic. One person offered 500 rupees, another said 1,000, and a third insisted 800. Different buyers look at the same object and see a different price. Value isn't locked inside the metal, it shifts based on the buyer. Its financial worth is a variable commodity, moving depending on the market's specific desires. When the boy returned and reported the inconsistent prices, his father set the watch aside. He was ready to move the experiment from the physical object to the resource it measures. Material price is a temporary agreement between people, a contrast to the rigid, unchanging asset they were about to test next. The father told the boy to go back to the market, but this time he wasn't allowed to ask for the price of the watch. He had to ask for the price of the time kept inside it. The crowd's reaction turned to mockery. People laughed because time has no physical weight, no shelf life, and no way to be traded across a counter. The ridicule only stopped when an old watchmaker called the boy over. He spent his life repairing the tools that measure time, and he understood exactly what the father was trying to prove. This 24-hour allocation shows the first rule. Time is perfectly inelastic. Mountains of currency cannot expand the circle by 1 second. The second rule is its dual nature. It inevitably passes without consent, but how you use those moments is dictated entirely by your choices. This makes it the world's only true equalizer. The wealthiest person and the poorest both receive the same 24-hour daily deposit, meaning the difference in their lives comes down to what they do with it. The boy returned to his father with a new understanding. He no longer saw his day as a background to be filled, but as a limited budget to be spent. His behavior changed. He stopped wandering aimlessly because he finally saw the cost of doing so. He began applying his hours towards specific goals with intent. He realized that once a moment is spent, it is not merely gone, it is permanently destroyed. This awareness of limited supply is the internal shift that allows a person to stop wasting their potential and start building their future. This leaves us looking at our own daily habits. Time is the ultimate economic paradox. It costs nothing to acquire when you are born, yet it is the most expensive thing you will ever own. You cannot save this asset for later. You cannot lock it in a bank account or wait for a better day to spend it. If you were given a daily allowance of cash that vanished at midnight, you would ensure every cent was used before the clock struck 12. You must decide exactly how to use your 24-hour allocation today, before the current daily cycle permanently expires.